For those of you who spend a great deal of your time asking me when I'm going to retire, none of your business. But when it comes to everybody else's retirement, that is an important piece of business. Lane Martinson, how can retirement planning be holistic, as you say in your book?
Well, holistic planning is a more comprehensive, big picture approach. And so when compared to traditional approaching, it's usually more focused on an investment portfolio. With holistic planning, we're looking at all the financial elements that make up your total financial life.
Okay, all right. Now you like what you do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a retirement a year in mind, a retirement age in mind?
Well, it's really going to vary greatly. You know, every person is unique and individual. Some people are forced to retire earlier than they want to. Some people love what they do and they can continue to work, just like you. And
until somebody shows up with something that's more fun than what I'm doing, why would I retire?
Right.
But when it comes to people who are looking forward to that, who have been saving, you talk in your book about a dramatic income.
Well, an additional income. So holistic retirement planning, income planning, is really quite remarkable. There's a recent study that showed a 22.6% increase in retirement income. So that's additional money that you would not otherwise have. And it's a combination of creating efficiencies, tax efficiencies, Social Security, health care, your mortgage, house, all the different things that make up your total financial life.
Now, I associate the Greek word gamma with fraternities and sororities.
Right.
What has it got to do with retirement?
Yeah, so gamma is the word that we use to identify and measure additional retirement income. So it's simply a word to identify the additional income.
People, it would seem to me, and so I've read, don't take risk into consideration enough when they're planning their retirement.
Well, yeah, the younger you are, the more tolerant you can be to risk. But the closer you get to retirement, you start to face new risks that you never had to deal with before. Sequence risk is a major threat to retirees, and so volatility becomes a big factor. That's just one of many risks that we face in retirement.
In your studies, what do you think the biggest mistakes are that people make in retirement planning?
Well, there's a lot of outdated advice. If deferring your contributions into tax-deferred accounts, such as 401ks and IRAs, is a very common traditional advice. But if you get to retirement age and all of your dollars are in tax-deferred accounts, that's a big variable. There's a tax rate risk, because if taxes are higher in the future, that's a direct impact on your retirement income.
So the 401 is not necessarily the safest way to save.
Well, it's a great way, especially if you're getting a company match. But most people will have a Roth 401k option, which is after tax, and then you get tax-free growth. So it's about positioning your assets in a way that they'll be more efficient down the road.
All right, there's some people that are out there right now. They don't know that we can see them, but we know who they are. And they're planning for retirement, but they're still just a little concerned that they're not doing it the right way. First step, I would imagine you would say, is to get your book.
Yeah, the book gives a great overview. You take a look at the image here on the screen. We often kind of see things one way, but reality is something quite different. And so we want to be able to identify all of the things that could potentially drain our assets or deplete our assets prematurely.
The peaks and valleys that you were just showing us.
Yeah.
All right, so finally, one first step that people can start today.
Well, educate themselves. It's understanding. There's a lot of complexity. There's a lot of bias and all kinds of different opinions out there. What we try to do here is really paint a picture that will help guide people.
A holistic retirement planning revolution. That's what Lane Martinson says is part of the education. It's also his book, available no doubt at Amazon and discriminating bookstores everywhere.